Gentani, and welcome to another episode of the podcast known as the Godfather Minute. My name is Alex Robinson.
Yeah, and I'm Andy Robinson.
And together we are the Godfather Minute Brothers. How are you doing this week?
I'm doing great. I just want to take this opportunity to say I'm really glad to be recording today.
Good.
Every day is a gift, Alex. You never know when one of us is going to get whacked, beat to death by Santino.
Yeah, look at Paulie.
Yeah, you won't see him. He won't be podcasting no more.
Today we are discussing minute 110 of the show. 110.
Mm-hmm. Alex, e minuto.
E minuto.
Numero.
Gentani.
Gentani. That means 100 years.
Oh, okay.
Which is how long we've been doing it for.
Minuto.
Minuto. 110.
Minuto numero 110?
That's it.
What is that? 10? Oh, like 10.
110.
Like D.
Yeah,
okay.
10. 110.
10.
You got it.
Is that a G in it or a C?
It's like a CH, like
CH.
Like 10.
Oh, Cheech?
La Porte.
Yes, we're in minute 110 of The Godfather. It features Sonny. He completes his beating of Carlo, leaving him there in the next to the fire hydrant for all the children to play around,
and next to the compostables.
Next to the compostables, we know how much Sonny is, how passionate Sonny is about that. And then he tells Carlo that if he touches Connie again, he'll kill him.
That's right. Now that I think about it, if Sonny had collected some of those recyclables rather than just getting out of there, he would have been able to turn them in at his local supermarket, get money, and gotten through the toll booth faster rather than having to get change from the guy. It could have saved his life.
That's the tragic irony.
Recycling would have saved his life.
And also in the second half of the minute, meanwhile back in Sicily, Mikey and Apollonia tie the knot. But yes, back to Sonny in New York City.
Yeah.
Well, one thing we have to bring up is a sort of update to a previous episode, specifically the dermatophagia.
That's right.
I forget who it was. Someone on the Fredo Corleone's Mickey Mouse nightclub. People were calling our attention to other examples of people biting their knuckles. Probably most famously,
Leonardo DiCaprio.
No, I was going to say Michael McKean in playing Lenny, a different Lenny.
Yeah. He did it all the time.
Yeah, he did in the opening credits of the show. So we figured we probably saw that 1,000 times.
Yeah.
So that was one that...
and that was... what year was that?
It was in the 70s also.
It
was also in the
Godfather?
70s setting... It was after The Godfather. But it was set also during the earlier times. So maybe people in the 70s thought people in olden times all did that.
Or maybe people in olden times really did that, and it was forgotten until the makers of Laverne and Shirley and The Godfather really did their research and made it real.
Or they grew up seeing people do that.
Oh, yeah.
And they just assumed that everyone still did that. Meanwhile, we're all like, what?
Do you think it's good that...
It's like combing your hair with a switchblade and stuff. Look, what's things people do.
Do you think that's going to... Do you think the dermatophagic move is going to continue into future generations? Or is it dead?
No, I think it's tough.
Because you said last minute that Leonardo DiCaprio is now the one famous for doing it for the millennials.
That's true.
I can't remember what movie it was.
The Wolf of Wall Street.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
He does it in there.
Which was also a flashback to, the 80s? Is that when
something like that, yeah.
So maybe no one has ever done it, but people keep seeing it and thinking
people did it in old times. Yeah, because 30 years from now, someone will make a movie about the aughts.
Yeah,
and you'll see them doing it all over the place. There.
Well, and if not 30 years from now, then 50 years from now. But at some point, we're going to lose our wrist muscle to be able to dermatophagia.
That's what the future is. The future is in dermatophagia.
Well, that's true, because isn't the future healthcare? Isn't that what everyone argues in the news, that it's all about healthcare in the future?
Oh, I mean, yeah, but I don't think that'll happen.
You know what other movie we see dermatophagia in?
Silence of the Lambs?
Is that really what happens?
No, I think it's a cannibal.
Flash Gordon.
Flash Gordon?
Yeah, there's a scene where he dives into Phrygia. Remember? Your Flash, lift up your dermatophagia.
So speaking of which, I started watching a documentary called it's called After Flash or Life After Flash.
Uh-huh.
And it's a documentary about the making of Flash Gordon and specifically the life of Sam J. Jones.
Oh my
Flash Gordon himself. So
it's a real documentary.
It's a real documentary.
Oh, fantastic.
So it's on Amazon Prime. So if you
cool.
Check it out.
I'm going to watch it tonight.
Tonight?
I might.
Okay, Mike.
If I can muster the energy.
Oh, yeah. So check that out. I know you and I are both big Flash fans.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's one of those things where I feel like the making of it would almost be as good of a movie as the actual making of it. Like, I would love someone to make a movie about the making of Flash Gordon, to have someone playing Brian Blessed and Flash and Zoltan. And
so with actors, not a documentary.
Well, a documentary too, but I would also want to see it with actors.
Would you want it to be true to how it took place, or them to expand on what would be maybe funny or interesting?
I'd want it to be 5% exaggerated.
Yeah, just enough.
Enough for it to be funnier on the big screen. But yeah,
who do you think would be a bigger Flash Gordon fan, Sonny Corleone or Hyman Roth?
Oh boy,
yeah.
I don't picture Hyman Roth being a Flash Gordon fan at all.
Remember, he's a big fan of American football.
That's true.
Flash Gordon, Gordon, quarterback, New York Jets.
But in the original Flash Gordon, he was not in the comic strip, he was not a football player. He was, in fact, a polo player.
Oh, boy.
So,
yeah.
In that case, maybe Hyman Roth would like him. You know who would like him is Walt.
Why would Hyman Roth like him as a polo player?
Because it's classier if him being a baseball player.
But Alex, there's not enough action in the polo markets for us to make anything. American football made a killing.
Yeah. Fredo, I think, would be the biggest Flash fan.
Really?
Yeah.
Not Santino? Because Flash Gordon is a tough guy. He's a quarterback. He's kicking butt. He's a hero.
Wait, you talking about the movie or the character? The movie or the character?
Because I'm thinking of the 1980 movie. The character in the 1980 movie.
Boy.
Which I know they wouldn't have been able to see because...
So you're saying you get a time machine, go back to 1946. It's almost 1946, and you show them the movie and then see who would like it?
Yeah.
Yeah, in that case, I think Sonny would like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I think Sonny would dye his hair blonde afterwards. He'd be like, and they'd be like, did you dye your hair because of the movie? He's like, no, my son just did this. Sonny. That's why they call me Sonny, because my hair gets bleached in the sun.
You know, we set up the play, and then all of a sudden you get all up close, and then boom. And then boom, they run a quarterback sneak on you. What else we got?
Fire hydrants.
Fire hydrants. Why are we talking about fire hydrants?
Well, this scene features he's beating him up right next to a fire hydrant.
Sorry, I was thinking about the Apollonia scene.
No.
Wow, you're really observant.
Yeah. No, we still a little bit before.
Yeah, I've got a few little bits about that too.
About fire hydrants?
No.
Oh, okay. I'd be shocked.
Well, I have a little bit. They produce water that the fire department taps into to put out fires.
Really?
That's all I got, though. Yeah. Wikipedia, check it out.
Thanks for taking all my notes.
All right, so we will see you. Make sure you recycle that paper. It could save your life.
Fire hydrants were in the in Europe and Asia in the 1700s. 1801 in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, the first above ground, like cylindrical classic fire hydrant.
Wow, 1801.
1801. Frederick Graff, inventor of the above ground fire hydrant.
But they existed in Europe. I'm guessing the Romans had aqueducts. Didn't they have some way to tap into public water?
It doesn't. Well, they all lived in marble houses, so they didn't have to worry about it.
Oh yeah,
I don't know. I'm sure some of them lived in the low house, but They did get this from Wikipedia, and the early specific thing they say is they don't mention the Romans. So
I would have thought the Romans had it because remember what Frankie Five Angels says?
What?
Tom. We pulled water from the streets. It's just like the Roman Empire.
Corleones, they're like the fire department in a way. I guess they wouldn't have hoses back then. That would be the hard part in Roman times.
Yeah.
So
they just,
They just take buckets, I guess. I guess that's what everyone did before, and they had the bucket brigade.
The bucket brigade, yeah. What else you got about fire hydrants?
In fire hydrant history, 1896. New York City is facing a giant heat wave, and the police chief orders them to open some of the fire hydrants to provide relief for the children of the city. That police chief, Theodore Roosevelt.
Oh, they're going to say Captain McCluskey.
No, he was just a child.
Damn it, Phil. I said open them all up. It's too damn hot.
Captain, what if there's a fire?
Wow, Theodore Roosevelt opened up the fire hydrants.
Yes, and if you're interested in seeing the world's biggest fire hydrant, head on over to Columbia, South Carolina. In February 2001, they opened the world's biggest fire hydrant, 40 feet tall.
Whoa.
And
is it legit?
It weighs 675,000 pounds. And it used to actually have water coming out of it, but the internal things got too complicated, so they turned off the water in 2017. Does it still count as a fire hydrant in that case? You be the judge.
If it's not functional,
yeah,
we'll put it to our viewers. We'll put out a poll.
Yeah,
it's the most boring poll ever.
Hey, listen to this podcast. They have a high tolerance for that sort of thing.
Before we get back to the minute, speaking of polls,
half polls.
Speaking of half poll, you and I together are a whole poll, a whole poll. So have our viewers voted on what's going to be the next countdown? Because I have some great ideas.
Well, the voting is. Do you want to set a deadline for when people? I didn't set a deadline. You want to start a deadline for when people can stop voting?
Yeah. What do we have? Another 8 weeks or so. So maybe.
How many minutes until?
It's minute 119, and this is what minute is this?
110.
110. So we got 9. So I'm going to say one more week because I need time to write and record this thing. I've actually already written and recorded it. I just need time to see what they choose, and if it's different, create a bunch of fake Facebook accounts and log in, get permission to the
All right,
website.
so when do you want the deadline to be? What date? What is the last date people on which the Patreons can vote?
Let's do September 25th.
September 25th.
That's 2 weeks, right?
This will be airing on
September 20th.
September 20th. This will be airing on, let's see,
the 14th.
The 14th of
yeah, so pretty much.
September.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is our last opportunity. The last time we'll promote it.
Okay. Until next. So I guess next week we can announce, or do we announce
I don't think
or
we
do we just
announce
keep it?
No,
Just
we keep it a
okay.
secret. Yeah.
All right. So if you're listening to this, go out and vote, assuming it's before September 20th. If it's after September 20th, 2019, don't bother. You missed out. Democracy fails.
You sound like one of those political campaigners driving around the neighborhood with the PA horn. Like, please make sure you get out your vote by September 20th. This is your last opportunity. Ballot boxes will close at 6 p.m.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
So anything else with the Sonny Carlo bit?
Yeah, I got a bunch of things.
Oh boy, a bunch
last
of things.
week you asked me, you looked straight mine, you said, hey, is Cheech there? Yes, Cheech is there.
I watched today's minute. You could definitely tell it's Cheech.
Yeah, definitely Cheech, which is interesting because he's one of Clemenza's guys, and then later Frankie Five Angels guys. So I guess he's still in the mix. Because I have a little bit in the book about Clemenza.
Okay,
so let's see. Page 244, Puzo writes...
So Clemenza's not in the scene. Is he in the scene in the book?
No, but there's some background information that Puzo writes about that's not in the movie.
Okay.
But before I get to that, Puzo writes about the aftermath when Sonny leaves. Let's see. This is Carlo. Puzo writes, Carlo kept his head down and his hands and arms entwined in the iron railing. He stayed that way until the car roared off and he heard Coach. Remember, Coach is one of the two guys.
One of the guys at the candy store.
Yep. He heard Coach say in his curiously paternal voice, "Okay, Carlo, come on into the store. Let's get out of sight." Carlo was a little dizzy, but it was more from shock, the raw fear that had taken command of his body. He was not badly hurt, despite the shower of heavy blows.
So the book of Sonny is wimpier than movie Sonny.
Either that or the book Carlo
Is stronger than the...
is stronger or a better actor. Or no, the movie one is a better actor. Or in both cases, he could be a better actor. He was pretending he was really beat up.
Oh, but I was just thinking strictly in terms of holding onto the railing.
Yeah. Oh, I see,
movie Carlo gives it up once his dermatophagia kicks in, and bites his hand. So, but the book Carlo held his ground no matter how much he bit.
Yeah, he did. He wasn't even that bloody. He was just a little swollen.
Yeah.
So it definitely seems like in the movie he took a much stronger beating.
Probably because the movie they have to kind of make everything more exaggerated, so it has to be. Mm-hmm. It has to be like bigger to read on the big
And
screen.
Coppola is a better storyteller than Puzo.
Oh,
right.
Yeah. Well, I guess technically Godfather was with both of them collaborating, so we'll call it a tie.
Okay. We'll call it a tie. Puzo writes, Carlo. Let's see. The fear, this is interesting. The fear was subsiding now, and the humiliation he had suffered made him sick to his stomach, so that he had to throw up. Because they're back in the candy store, and he's just so embarrassed. Coach held his head over the sink, supported him as if he were a drunk, then helped him upstairs to the apartment.
Have you ever held someone's forehead while they were puking? And have you ever held another gentleman's head while he was puking?
I don't think I've ever held another gentleman's head while they're puking. I don't think I've ever... I don't know if I've ever held anyone's head. I know it's common for girls to hold each other's hair back when they're puking.
Yeah.
But I don't remember any time I helped anyone puke. I think I've caused a few people to puke.
So...
how about you?
No, I never have.
Yeah.
And the fact that... the fact that Coach did it, and that Carlo's hair is long enough where he feels like he's not holding his hair.
He's holding up his head. Yeah.
So is he doing that because, like, with drunks, you're worried they're going to, their head is going to fall into? Is that why you hold the heads drunk over the toilet?
And Puzo wrote earlier that he had a curiously paternal voice, so maybe he just really cares about him.
Do you think that's Carlo's father? Is Coach Carlo's father?
Coach and Carlo. Oh yeah, if you look at the birth records, Carlo is actually like Coach Low or something.
Is Coach at the wedding? Do we ever notice if he was at Carlo or did they become friends after?
There were a lot of. I don't think there's any other mention of Carlo and Sally, or Coach and Sally Rags in the book.
Sally Rags.
Yeah, well, so there's a little bit here about Sally Rags. Puzo writes, Carlo never noticed that Sally Rags had disappeared. Alex, you want to take a guess why he disappeared?
Because he was screwing Lucy. So he didn't want Sonny to be there.
Lucy! Because when Sonny left, so Carlo left Connie's, and then Sonny got... So it's Carlo is at Connie's. Sonny was at Lucy's.
Yeah.
And at the same time, Carlo left Connie's, Sonny went to Connie's, and Sally Rags
left Carlo's and went to
Lucy's.
It's all a big circle.
Well, it's interesting. So at this point, the families are at war, right, Alex? You remember that? Sonny's not allowed to be out in public. When he attacks Carlo, Sally Rags immediately goes and calls Rocco, who calls Clemenza.
Rocco!
Who calls Hagen. Hagen tells Clemenza to get more guards to cover the road between the candy shop and Long Beach to protect Sonny, because Hagen realizes that he's exposed. And they do it.
Wait, they cut more people to cover the road between Carlos?
Yeah, because this is such a very public beating. It would have been really easy for...
But how do they cover, the whole road?
I think they just start sending people out to drive toward the candy store.
Okay.
Yeah, just cover ground, be available.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what the formation looks like.
It's like a V formation.
And
flying V.
This is fascinating, and I'm so glad that we're looking at the book, because you never see any of this in the movie.
It's different than the movie. The book is different than the movie.
Oh!
The book is different than the movie. The book is different than the movie. The book is different. The book is different. The book is different than the movie. Yeah.
It's so interesting in the book. Puzo writes how when Carlo gets his beat down, there is a Tatalia family employee, basically a Tatalia family member, who witnesses the beatdown.
Yeah.
And he may have been placing bets or doing something. I don't know why he'd be placing bets at the Corleone candy shop, but he notices it. He's a low-level Tattaglia family informer. Oh, he's just an informer who witnesses the attack. He calls the Tattaglia family to tell him, hey, Sonny Corleone is here. This is your opportunity. But it takes him a few layers of people to get through to anyone because he's a low-level informer that by the time it gets through to anyone who could do anything, Sonny's already back at the compound. Isn't that interesting? I guess they're all on the street looking out for each other.
Yeah, I like that they're both basically, you can follow two different people. You can follow Rags going up the chain of command to contact the Corleones, and you can follow this guy. What did they say his name, or they just said?
No, they just said low level. A small bettor on the payroll of the Tattaglia family as an informer. I guess he was going to the candy shop and placing bets. They probably said, oh, make sure you stick around Carlo just in case Sonny shows up. They probably all have button men and spies on the street because they're at war now and they're trying to find each other in public.
Yeah, that would make sense. I thought Rags was going to be reporting to Tattaglia.
Oh, yeah. I like how you call him Rags.
So do you think...
You don't want to call him Sally Rags, do you?
Sally Rags?
Yeah.
No, I'll call him Sally Rags. I think I recently read, I was reading someone else and there was a character named Rags. I was like, oh my gosh, what are the odds of meeting two characters with that nickname?
Yeah.
So are we to assume that, let's call, what are we going to call the Tattaglia informer? Let's call
him Rags.
No, that's too confusing.
Let's call
him Bags.
Bags.
So Bags sees this going on.
Wait, why are you calling him Bags?
Because it sounds like
it's not memorable, but that's going to even confuse us more. He's a low level. What about the Tattaglia? He pimps.
Tags.
He's into pimps.
Like Tattaglia. T-A-G.
Tags.
There's the word tag.
Okay.
Tattaglia. Yes,
okay.
Tags.
Got it. Tags.
Tags. It's Tattaglia. So he calls up whoever the local person is who works its way up the chain of command.
Tattaglia informer agency, please hold.
Number, please. Do you think then that's why? Do they approach Carlo after this and go, so I saw Sonny really smacked you around?
Man, you are brilliant, because that was my next note. Puzo writes that this is where the Tattaglia family later gets the idea to use Carlo as bait.
Nice. Got it.
But you're thinking like a crime boss, my friend.
But does Carlo know? Wait, so when you say Carlo is being used as bait, does Carlo know?
No, not at this time.
No, not at this time, but later on, does Carlo know he's bait?
I don't know.
Does he purpose to the Tattaglia say, listen, beat up your sister and then go to the candy store and...
Well, I don't want to give it away, but I guess I will. Yeah. He does know, remember? He talked to Barzini.
I thought that was...
He talked to Barzini, got paid off, or however he was compensated, and then he beat up Connie to draw Sonny there. Remember, Mike says, "Oh, that little ruse of my sister, you can't fool a Corleone."
Well, I thought maybe it was after the fact that he realized that what he was being.
Oh, so he wasn't even involved in the plan?
Yeah, like they told him, oh, beat up Connie or whatever, and then just come back here, and then not realize. I guess that seems like it would be a stretch. You'd be like, why should I beat up Connie just for no reason?
Yeah.
And so he would have to know.
He's probably in on it. That's probably why he had that, or really guessing.
I think he's innocent.
Carlo's innocent?
Yeah, I think he's innocent.
You don't even think he talked to Barzini?
Yeah. I'm going to tell you he's innocent.
Okay.
Woo!
Yeah.
Sorry, I missed your Barzini.
You sound like Tom Hagen. He's innocent. He talked to Barzini, but you can't prove what they talked about. Not in a court of law. This panel deserves Carlo an apology.
I was just trying to mimic Michael's line. Where he's like, just don't tell me you're innocent.
Yeah. Oh, I get it. Oh, I didn't even catch it. Nice.
Sorry.
Oh, great. So that's all I got for the Carlo scene. We ready to move on back to Sicily?
I have a couple little factoids about our friend Jimmy Kahn.
All right. So we're still in New York City.
Yeah, just because Sicily.
Sure.
Hold off as long as possible before returning.
That'll be the last minute of the podcast.
So Jimmy Kahn, married 4 times. Married and divorced 4 times.
Yeah, Lucy.
He was born March 26th, 1940.
I know that birth date.
Do you know that birth date? And also born in the Bronx.
Oh.
And this is what I thought was the most interesting part. His son, Scott Conn, is an actor in the television program Hawaii Five-0, which I did not, the new Hawaii Five-0.
Oh, okay.
And I did not realize he's also in a hip hop group called the Hooligans, WHOOLIGN.
Oh, funny.
That's Jimmy Conn's son is a rap artist.
Oh, I thought you said meant Jimmy Conn is in a hip hop group.
Oh, no,
called
that would be even
Hooligans.
better.
Yeah.
No, Jimmy Conn Jr.
You touch my sister, I'm gonna kill you. I touch my. That would be Jimmy Conn's gangster
My
rap.
name's Jimmy Conn, and I'm here to say I want to be in The Godfather today.
I know I know that in this war they put us in a hole, but let me go down to the highway, I'll pay the toll, and I'll get through to get back home. And I know I shouldn't be traveling alone. Ladies and gentlemen, the Polish beatbox. The half Polish beatbox.
Half Polish, half beatbox.
Would you rather be a Polish half beatbox or a half Polish beatbox?
A Polish half beatbox or a half Polish beatbox?
Yeah, because a half beatbox can only do this.
That one. I'll take that one.
Okay.
Because I'll have to team up with another
half beatbox.
another ethnicity half beatbox to prove that we can go across.
So if you as a half Polish, Polish beatbox, Polish half beatbox, worked with an African half beatbox together, you could go. That African, like,
Oh, that like that.
Yeah.
that squeak.
yeah, yeah.
I can't do
Sorry, I know I'm not trained or equipped to do that.
You gotta work on it. What has that been called? Do you know?
We'll ask, we'll answer.
But that's one of those things. How do you look up what is that African instrument that goes?
You should be able to sing it into your iPhone and it'll come back. That'd be
look it
funny.
up.
While you're writing that note down, I'll share a funny skit. If you sing into your iPhone, Siri, what is? And it just goes back to you. It starts communicating with
Steve
you.
Vai.
Yeah, I'm gonna pay the toll tonight.
Oh man.
So we're going to Sicily.
Return to Sicily.
All right.
You got anything?
Silence, dead air. All right, so let's rate it. Let's rate the episode. So we see them doing the post, we actually see them get married. Literally tie the knot. Isn't there a rope ceremony?
Oh, I didn't notice that. I remember they're kneeling and they're standing up on a kneeling on a pillow.
Yeah.
And then
there's some holy words spoken by the priests. They get up and they start walking away.
Do you think you don't think they wrote their own vows, do you?
Yeah, hers is probably pretty simple.
Really? Well,
Yeah, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
No. And did we already discuss this?
Thanks for setting me up for that. That was really fun.
Can you put that up? Can you cut that out? Put it anyway. Do we assume that Don Tomasino checked with America before giving permission?
We know he did.
Okay.
Puzo writes about it.
Yeah. Okay.
Originally he objected, but
Right.
Michael made a good argument. He said, "My pop wouldn't be able to stop me. I'm a man." And so
I'm a man. Gonna marry this girl. Gonna take over the crime family. Take over the world. Blues are a lot easier because they're slower than hip hop, so it's a lot easier to do. I can
know,
understand.
You keep putting me on the spot to do these raps. I'm a blues man and I'm here to sing.
Okay, you want to do the blues?
Well, hold on. I ain't been married for long. I'm gonna bring Apollonia from Sicily to Bologna.
Bologna.
Do you think all her life as a kid they did rhymes, like, because Bologna is an Italian city? You're like Apollonia di Bologna, like Apollonia from Bologna.
Probably not, because there are probably a lot of names that sound like that.
Yeah, that's
You
true.
know, so
Yeah,
it's like saying, although, you know, I don't know, kids are pretty clever. I'm sure everyone got this. If anything, I would call it Apoolonlier.
Oh, man.
Or Apoolonlier, because she's so lonely that no one ever wants to hang out with her.
Apoolonlier.
Apoolonlier.
You may have just named the episode, Alex. Apollonia finds a man.
Apoolonlier.
Apoolonlier finds a man. Finally finds a man.
Finally finds a man. So, anything else about the Sicily part? We have more Sicily next week, so it's almost like I didn't want to use up any.
Although in this scene, you do
I didn't want to use up any of the 2 notes I have for next week.
you do see the marching band, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Right after they get married, they're walking on this Sicilian road, and there's a marching band. I love the uniforms. It's like old school white,
like ice cream vendors.
Yeah, definitely. There's a bunch of just musicians playing. One of the guys looks like Michael Corleone, and another one, I don't know if you noticed, the cymbal player looks like Fabrizio.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not dressed like I'm wearing the ice cream uniform.
That would have been great if they were still bodyguards, but they were also playing instruments and undercover as part of the band. What do you think of this band? You think they're good? They sound like middle school kids playing.
It reminds me of the beginning of GF2 when they flash back to Vito Andolini.
Yeah.
Or not Vito.
Yeah.
Who's Vito's older son?
Oh, boy.
Well, we'll get to it in a few years.
Yeah.
Anyway, it reminds me of that band, the same kind of sound. I like it.
Very well could be the same band. Although I guess that was 50 years ago now.
Yeah,
or
that's
something,
true.
so.
Yeah, the children of those same middle school players.
Clearly, they don't pick people based on talent. They only do. My father was the player, so I am the player.
Yeah.
So do you think, I guess because it's a small town, there's only so many musicians.
When men are all dying from vendettas.
That's
so I
true.
think they can get anyone who's got lungs and can blow into a horn. That's why they sound like a middle school band.
So I guess that makes sense that they pretty much probably only have one band in the whole town.
Yeah.
So they do all the gigs.
They may be the only band in the province.
They might be, as far as we know, they're probably the national band of Sicily. That's why they wear those uniforms, is because they know that's like basically like saying that they're part of like the medical, because like no one wants to shoot any musicians because they only have so many left. So they're kind of like neutral. They're kind of like neutral. Like you're not allowed to
it's like the Red Cross.
They're like negotiators. You gotta let them win a pinochle. If you want to play your daughter's wedding, you gotta let them win a pinochle.
How's the tuba player doing? Oh, don't worry about him. He's blowing into the horn. They're letting him play.
So I bet they could play Pop Goes the Weasel, though.
What do you mean?
The musicians. I bet that's one they could. All right, let's rate it. It's the end of the beaten. Mm-hmm. And it's the beginning of the end for Sonny and the end of the beginning for Michael.
And the beginning of the end for Apollonia.
That's
sort
true.
of.
Yeah. All right.
Sonny does have an iconic line.
He does, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. All right, I'm ready.
All right, I'm ready. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, you gave her for that Sonny one.
It's just a tiny bit.
Yeah, I was
because you do see Carlo laying in the street.
I know.
That's when he turns over. Yeah. If it weren't for that,
I was very close to giving it 3.
I think I was gonna do 2, and the last second I was shamed from a previous minute where you gave the beat down a 5, and I think I only gave it a 3.
That's funny because I was going to give it a 3 and I was like, oh, that seems. And I was like, you're probably going to give it a 2. I'm being too generous. So there you go.
Yeah.
Got in each other's heads.
But the Sicily thing should have brought it down. Anyway.
So anything we're going to bring up on the bonus content?
We got our typical stuff, and I think we're going to be shooting from the hip.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah. We'll see what happens.
Okay.
So listeners,
and so I haven't. I had a new sign off, but we'll do it for next time because I'll tell you ahead of time.
Okay. Okay. So if you want to hear the bonus content, go to godfatherminute.com/support. And if you pay, it's about $1 an episode, you'll get extended versions of every single one, plus the whole backlog of all those episodes. It's a lot of episodes. Figure there's probably at least 102 bonus contents for you to listen to. Each one's at least 15 minutes long.
Oh, at least.
You're talking hours of entertainment.
We're talking high value.
And so until then, there will be no acts of vengeance.